Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Destiny and today we're going to be doing a everything that I got for Christmas haul. I know this is super late. It is like January 13th that I'm filming this right now. Better late than never. I never did this back when I had the books because I was out of town for most of that like winter break time. I got back towards the end of after New Year's Eve. It was like January 4th or something like that, and then I ended up filming and posting a different video last week. So we're just gonna do our haul video now. Everybody loves a haul, so I don't think anyone's going to mind how late this video is, but let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with the books that I ended up buying myself, and then we'll get into what everyone else got me. So starting with The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, I'm very excited to read this book. I've heard amazing things about this and that R.F. Kuang is just a fantastic writer. So I can't wait to get into this. I still need the other two books in the series, but we'll wait. Clearly I have plenty of other things to read in the meantime. The next book I got myself was Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I actually already read this one last week, and this was so sweet and romantic and just such a fun, cozy fantasy read. I really enjoyed this. This I also will be purchasing the next two in the series. I also wanted to read something a little bit different, so I got this. It is Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. I've started a little bit of it. It's very eerie. I think that it's going to have some horror elements to it, very spooky YA. I don't think it's a thriller, but I don't know where this is going yet. And someone's clearly unalived already, so this is going to be a fun one. I want to continue reading that. And the last book that I got myself is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This one was in the 50% section at Barnes & Noble with the beautiful sprayed edges, and so I got it for only $15, which was so much fun. I know that book 2, A Curse Carved in Bone, is coming out this year. So I really want to get a move on this one, get it finished so that I'm ready for book 2 when it comes out. And I know that one has a little bit of mixed reviews, but we're going to try anyways. The next books I got from a Secret Santa exchange as well as a book fairy, let's say. The first two are from a Secret Santa exchange, which was so much fun. I really want to do that again next Christmas, maybe even a couple more of them, because it was Christmas morning every time you open a package and it's not from yourself. I love that. This one was Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and I'm really excited to get into this fantasy series because I believe it centers around African culture, and I think that's going to be a really nice different take on a fantasy, like magic and all of that. So I'm just really excited to get into this one. As well as The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I actually already read this one. I'm a huge fan of Leigh Bardugo's. I read her entire Grishaverse and The Familiar, this is like book 8 of Leigh Bardugo. So clearly I've been getting through her backlog. I really enjoyed this one. It was very different from her other books with some similar writing elements inside, but overall just a completely different story. And I think Leigh Bardugo might have like Spanish or Spain background, because this was very well done. It's set in Spain and it just seemed so like that person was living there. Like you feel it in here how well versed she is in it, so I feel like she has to be from there or has family from there for her to be so for it to have been so well done. I really enjoyed that one. And as a book fairy mail, which was so very sweet, I got The Will of the Many. I have been dying to read this book, and the fact that she chose this one to send me was jaw-dropping. I am so excited to read this. I have heard the most amazing things about this book, and I know this is going to be a series, so I need to hurry up and get a move on this one because she's thick. So I'm really excited. The next books were from my dad. He got me, or my dad and my stepmom got me all of these. So they did get me the second part of the Ninth House duology. I got Ninth House from someone else, so I'm really glad that I ended up getting Hellbent as well. Actually, this is not a duology if you didn't know. Leigh Bardugo's already put out her plans for 2025, and book 3 in this series is planned for 2025, but right now it has no title. It's just called Ninth House Book 3. I need to hurry up and finish this one before that book comes out because I will be purchasing that book. Let's just say that. But this one is definitely one of my next reads that I have planned. I also got The Vicious Duology, so Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. Vicious was the very first book that I picked up right after Christmas, and I devoured this book. This book was fantastic. This is my first time reading anything V.E. Schwab, and I'm an immediate fan. This was so very good. It is a sci-fi thriller, which I don't think I've ever read a sci-fi thriller before, and this just blew my mind. If you've ever seen the movie Chronicle, which is actually one of my favorite movies, this heavily has those vibes, but in a story that's just different as well, and I just devoured this. Cannot wait to read this one. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Leigh Bardugo's. I read her entire Grishaverse, but Language of Thorns is one of the like lore books, I think is what you would equate it to. It's one of her lore books, and so I want to be very, very versed in Leigh Bardugo's like Grishaverse. So I did ask for the Language of Thorns. This just has like tales of the like, they're not gods, I can't even remember what they're called, the prophets, I guess you could say, of the Grishaverse, and stories about the magic and things like that. And so I just thought that this would be a really fun, cute read, and that cover, like that metallic shine, is just fantastic. The last book they got me was Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This book I picked up at the beginning of January. I really want to read this one because Callie Hart posted on her Instagram page that this was going to be turned into, I think, a Netflix film or show. I want to get a move on this one so that I can have it finished well before that happens, but this is not my favorite writing style. I don't love this writing style of this fantasy book, so I'm having a hard time getting through it. When did I pick this up? January 4th, January 5th. It's currently January 13th. So like 9-ish days later, and I've barely made a dent in it. So I'm going to continue working on it. Whenever I feel like picking it up, I will. It's just not one of my priority reads. These next ones were from my in-laws and from my fiance. So one of my sister-in-laws gave me 1,000 Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. This is on my wish list because I do have 1,000 Boy Kisses. I haven't read it yet, just not in the mood to cry. Not ready to cry. But when I am, I will have both books to drown my sorrows in. The next two I got from my fiance. This is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is book 1 in the Ninth House series, and Wayward by Amelia Hart. This book I read on my Kindle and I gave it 6 stars. This book is such a wonderful representation of witchiness and female rage in one book, and the way it spans over generations. It was just, this book was so fantastic. It changed my brain chemistry, and I would love to read more historical fictions like this with the magical realism inside. So I loved this book so much. I only got that one as a trophy. The last book from my in-laws was one of my sister-in-laws got me the Aragon series, or the Inheritance Cycle is what it's actually called. And I read Aragon back in high school, 9th, 10th grade. I absolutely loved it. I loved the movie, which is the catalyst as to why I even bothered to read the book in the first place. But I definitely did not know that there were 3 other books in the series. So I asked for this. For nostalgic purposes, I want to read this series, find out what happens in the rest of the story, and get this whole series under my belt and say I did it. Last, but certainly not least, most of these are from my best friend, so I'll go over the 6 that were from her, which I am so very grateful that she got me so many. But she got me Icebreaker and Wildfire by Hannah Grace. Now, I know that these are super controversial. They were very popular book talk books last year, maybe the year before. I would have never picked these books up myself, but I did purchase Daydream because I heard so many amazing things about that one, and I did not know that these actually came before that book. I thought that it was just its own standalone, that there was not an actual series. Now, I know that they're not connected. We may see some of these characters in the other books, but they don't play like a proper role in those books. I still want to say that I finished the series and then I gave it a chance. So I'm really grateful that she got me these so that I have that opportunity. These two she has on her bookshelf, and she really enjoyed these. And when we saw them at Books A Million, they were for a bargain price, so they were under like $7 each. So she was like, I'm absolutely getting you those because I want you to read these so that we can talk about them. So she got me a Magic Steeped in Poison and a Venom Dark and Sweet, and I'm really excited for these. They are set in an Asian culture, so I'm really excited to read something a little bit different like that. I don't think I've ever read anything set in Asian culture before. Not that I'm aware of. That's also one of the reasons I'm really excited for the Poppy War. But the next two books that she got me are the Dance of Thieves duology, Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. I started reading Dance of Thieves maybe 2 days ago, and this YA fantasy romantasy duology has been chef's kiss. I have been loving this, eating it up. I am writing in it. I am tabbing it. It's just been so much fun. I really love this, and I cannot wait to finish this one so I can go into Dance of Thieves. Last two, my goodness, I am winded. The last two were gifts from my best friend's friends. I met them for the very first time because we do live very far apart from each other, and they were so sweet. They wanted to give me a couple books themselves, so I'm so very grateful for that. They got me Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston, which is actually a trophy book because I did read this on my Kindle. It's available on Kindle Unlimited if you enjoy Ashley Poston's writing and you want to try something different from her. She wrote The 7-Year Slip, The Dead Romantics, and she has a new story coming out this year called A Novel Love Story, I believe, that has not come out yet, and it should be coming out this year unless I'm late. But if you really enjoyed The 7-Year Slip, which was a huge book on Book Talk, I would highly recommend that you try Among the Beasts and Briars because this one was my favorite. This is such a sweet story. And last but certainly not least, we have Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I'm so very excited for this hunker of a book. This is definitely going to be the book that I'm spending my entire week this week reading so that I'm prepared for Onyx Storm come January 21st, which I pre-ordered. So I'm really excited to get into this. I've heard very mixed reviews of this one. Some people absolutely love it and some people are very disappointed in it. So I'm ready to find out which group I belong to, but that is everything. I think that was about 25 or 26 books. I'm winded. That was everything that I got. I hope you enjoyed the video. If there's any books that you have questions about or anything that you want to see in a vlog, please definitely let me know in the comments below, or any other video ideas that you would like to see. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next week.